Hi guys, welcome back to Sheri Approved. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today's video has been requested by several of you and you've been asking me to do a video on my top daytime moisturizers. So listen to me, I started to prepare for this video and then I realized this list is going to be too long. So here's what we're going to discuss today. We're going to talk about my current top 5 daytime moisturizers, and I'm saying my current because there are others that I absolutely love, but these are the 5 that has really been in rotation in my skincare routine for the last couple months. And I think especially because now it's summertime in several countries around the world where it's hot and humid, a lot of these moisturizers might be applicable for a lot of people. So I hope you will enjoy today's video. I really don't want to repeat some of the things that I love about all of these moisturizers, but you might just hear me say this a lot. Things like a little goes a long way, gel cream, natural or matte finish, wears beautifully under makeup, absorbs really well, lightweight, won't make you greasy. In fact, all of these things describe all of these 5 moisturizers that I'm going to talk about. They have these things in common, but I want to point out a couple differences for you. Some of them have fragrance and some of them are fragrance free, and I really want to also point those out in case that's important for you. So let's start with this one, the TM Pore Minimizing Cream, and I actually did a detailed review of this one on my Instagram, so you could definitely check it out. When I started using this product several months ago, I immediately knew that if I had to do a top 5 all-time daytime favorite moisturizers, this will definitely be it. I was impressed from the time I started to use this product. This TM moisturizer is actually described as a pore caring cream that regulates excessive sebum production while improving the appearance of shine, blackheads, and stretched pores. And that might be interesting for a lot of you, and that has to do with the combination of ingredients. So this particular cream focuses on niacinamide. It's in there at 5%, which is a sweet spot for most people. It also has willowbark extract, which is a natural form of BHAs, and zinc PCA. And in a couple of videos ago, I mentioned the benefits of zinc PCA and why it works so well with ingredients like niacinamide as well as BHAs. So niacinamide is one of those ingredients that help to balance sebum production in the skin and improve the elasticity in the skin. And therefore, in the long term, it definitely has a positive effect in terms of reducing the appearance of enlarged pores, which is why a lot of people use niacinamide for that. And the zinc PCA in combination with the BHA is going to help to regulate that sebum as well and reduce the amount of blackheads that you will get. So definitely what they claim, I completely agree. I love how this feels on the skin. The texture is absolutely beautiful. It is a lovely lightweight moisturizer. It feels so beautiful when you're putting it on the skin. This one has no essential oils, no added fragrance. So if that's important to you, definitely want to take note of that. One of the reasons why I absolutely love this moisturizer, and you will notice when I point out the ingredients in the ones that I'm going to mention today, really has to do with when I use them and how I fit them into my routine. So especially when I'm trying to switch up my morning skincare routine, and I just might want to leave out niacinamide, or perhaps I'm using the niacinamide 20% serums and I'm doing that every other day or every 2 days or so. This is a nice cream to kind of just bring in as my daytime moisturizer because I might be using other things, especially as I've been using the Ectoin serum, for example, so much, and probably wanting to pair that with just my vitamin C in the morning before my moisturizer. I'm still going to get my niacinamide in, if you understand what I'm saying. So I love the versatility of this moisturizer and it works excellent on my skin. This is one that I will definitely recommend for those who might be normal combination, oily, not so much dry. While it is hydrated, it's definitely going to be focusing on sebum control because of those ingredients. So the first 3 moisturizers that I'm going to be talking about today are fragrance free. So this is the second one, and this is the Heimish Moisture Surge Gel. And I also reviewed this before in my Heimish video, and I wanted to bring this back up because I have really been reaching for it, and for several reasons. Again, it has to do with the ingredient combination because all of these moisturizers give me a similar finish on the skin. They're all lightweight. They work amazing with other products. They layer well. I can wear them under my makeup and all of that, but I will bring them in depending on what I'm doing in the rest of my skincare routine, if that makes any sense. This one is described as a rich, nourishing cream that delivers immediate hydration and prevents moisture loss. It sounds kind of basic, but when you actually get into what's in this particular moisturizer, you realize that it isn't as basic as it sounds. Now, something I will just point out is that this one is the largest of all of them, and it might also seem to be the most expensive, but because this has 110 ml of product compared to the others, it's actually a really good value for money. So as I mentioned before, this particular moisturizer is fragrance free. There are no essential oils and it is alcohol free, like all of the moisturizers that I'm mentioning today. And when we're talking about alcohol free, I'm talking about it is free of the drying alcohols. So if you remember that video where I talked about this product, you would know that that was the product that I consider to be a dupe of Glow Recipes watermelon moisturizer that a lot of people love. And simply because the second ingredient in this moisturizer is watermelon extract, something that a lot of people really enjoy in their skincare. It is full of lycopene, full of antioxidants. And did you know that watermelon extract gives significant DNA protection against UV damage? In fact, a particular study that was done showed that the watermelon extract done an in vivo test, that means that it was done on real people, showed a 25% more protection than the placebo, and that's excellent news. So watermelon extract in your moisturizer is going to really be great, especially for the daytime, to help to protect against free radical damage and UV exposure as well. This moisturizer also has turmeric root. It also has vitamin E, which is another great antioxidant, especially for the daytime as well. And there is an ingredient in here that I wanted to point out that I think I did mention it last time, and it's called Phytos Sphingosine. That's a mouthful. It is one of the ingredients that form the ceramides or the lipids naturally in the skin. This is why they say it's a nourishing cream that's going to prevent moisture loss, because this is one of the ingredients that are going to really support your natural skin barrier. So I love that this covers so many different aspects of protecting our skin, nourishing our skin, hydrating our skin, and it is doing it in such a lightweight manner. Again, works great under makeup, absorbs really lovely, and it has a natural matte finish on the skin. So the third daytime moisturizer that I've really been using a lot, and the last fragrance-free one in this particular series, is the Baha Centella gel cream that I mentioned to you guys in a couple of videos ago. I have absolutely been loving this. This one is described as containing 80% Centella asiatica extract that promotes collagen synthesis and activates cell tissues to calm troubled scars. And this is one of those moisturizers, again, because of the ingredient component, I will bring it in, especially if I feel that I need a little bit more support, like probably just after my period. It's kind of weird because if I do break out, that's when they actually show up, like during my period or just after my period, and I want to make sure the scarring and so on is not so bad. And while I do have Centella in other parts of my skincare routine, this works lovely and comes in very, very nicely there. As you guys know, this particular moisturizer also contains niacinamide. It has a lot of antioxidants, including that caffeine that we mentioned, and some great hydrators. But again, this is one of those moisturizers that I could use on my oily skin with no issues, pairs well with many other skincare products. And again, it's one of those that are very affordable. Something else to note about the Baha gel cream is that it could be used as a day moisturizer on many skin types. It gives a natural matte finish, but it really gives lovely hydration to the skin. So I feel from even normal skin types all the way up will feel comfortable with this. If you are drier, but you've layered essences and probably hydrating serum before, this will also work as a lovely lightweight moisturizer for you during the day. Now, the next two moisturizers contain fragrance, and fragrance does not personally bother me, but I just wanted to mention that because if fragrance is an issue for you or could be sensitizing to you, then you definitely want to check out one of the first three that I mentioned. But these two also work wonderfully on my skin. I have no issues with the fragrance. They don't irritate my skin at all, but that could be very personal for different people. So this particular moisturizer is called the Lanbena Hyaluronic Acid Cream. This one is described as a rich, hydrating cream that deeply moisturizes and soothes skin as it helps shrink pores. And the thing about it is I actually purchased this to test it more so for my drier skin girls, dry to normal skin, to probably give you guys a moisturizer recommendation if you're in that skin type. And it turns out that I actually fell in love with this moisturizer for my own skin. Now, I find the name to be so basic for what this moisturizer contains because they call it just a hyaluronic acid cream, and I find that does not do this cream justice. This moisturizer contains so many things. In fact, I like to call it the all-in-one. So if you want to get a whole bunch of different things in your moisturizer in the daytime, this is definitely one to look at. So this has snail mucin filtrate, it has Centella asiatica extract, it has squalane, it has vitamin E, it has beautiful hydrators like glycerin and panthenol. And one of the things that it does not have is niacinamide. And I want to mention that because there are a couple of people that do have sensitivities or might be allergic to niacinamide. So while all the other moisturizers that I'm talking about today contain some amount of niacinamide, this one does not. This might be the one that you might want to look at. I absolutely enjoy the fragrance of this. It's like a very light floral, fresh scent, and I enjoy the experience when I apply it. It does not last for very long, but it's important for you to know that it does have that fragrance. And this one might look the creamy gloomiest in terms of texture, but it is just as lightweight as all the others. It really absorbs well into the skin and you can actually feel it hydrating. So this one will be one of those moisturizers that once you are not sensitive to fragrance, I will actually recommend it to the widest range of skin types. And while the jar looks tiny, this actually contains 50 ml of product like a lot of moisturizers, and it's actually very affordable. And finally, number 5 in my current favorite daytime moisturizers that I have been using like crazy is this one. And this is the HaruHaru Wonder Honey Green Aqua Bomb. And this one is described as a delicious moisturizing cream that contains extracts of fermented green tea with honey, which not only soothes and hydrates, but acts as a natural anti-inflammatory agent to calm redness and irritation. That pretty much sums up this moisturizer. And I believe I'm going to have a HaruHaru video coming up because there are some products from the HaruHaru line that I really want to share with you guys. But I had to throw this one in this video because I have been really reaching for this cream. In fact, this one is my second tube. Now, as the name says, this does contain honey and green tea, which are the stars of this particular moisturizer. When I heard that there was honey in it, I was actually a little bit hesitant because honey is deeply hydrating and tends to be in products more so for dry skin. I love using it as a mask on my oily acne prone skin, but not so much in moisturizers I will use in the daytime. I was completely blown away by the texture and the feel of this moisturizer. But before we get there, let's just look at some of the things that we do have inside here. So yes, there's honey, which has a lot of amazing benefits, but there is also green tea and it's fermented. And that's one of the things about HaruHaru is this liposomal technology that they use that allows ingredients to penetrate the skin deeper than they would otherwise. And there are many reasons that we love green tea. It's antioxidant, it's anti-inflammatory, it's great as a UV protector, it's antimicrobial, and as you would have heard in my hyperpigmentation video, it's one of those ingredients that does have a positive impact on reducing hyperpigmentation as well. The green tea tends to be one of those ingredients that people with a lot of skin irritations like rosacea, dermatitis, and so on tend to reach for because there are also some calming and soothing properties and healing properties from green tea. However, this particular one, just like the Lanbena, contains fragrance. It is an amazing fragrance, but again, I have to mention it in case you are sensitive to that. This one literally just smells like the freshest, cleanest, I don't know how to describe it, but I just want to bathe, cover myself from head to toe. The smell of this, it is so refreshing. This, however, blew me away in terms of the texture versus the name because I was expecting this to be like thicker or heavier, but this one is probably the lightest weight out of all the moisturizers that I mentioned today. When you put it on, it feels and it melts like water into the skin. And in fact, I would more so recommend if you are combination or oily because it is super lightweight. But let me tell you something, you will actually feel this thing penetrating the skin and the hydration. The refreshing feel is amazing. One of the things that I will mention about these particular moisturizers from HaruHaru is I love that they have different sizes. So you get to purchase a size like this if you want to try it out. And if you do love it as much as I do, you could actually purchase the bigger containers, which I like because not every brand has the capability or has really put out multiple sizes of their products. I think that's an interesting feature of this particular HaruHaru moisturizer. If you've come to the end of this video, I'd love to hear, have you tried any of these? Do you like them? Do you enjoy them? Do you not like them? And what are the moisturizers that you reach for, especially when it's hot and humid at this time of year? I'd love to hear about it. Definitely leave a comment down below and I'll see you guys in another video. Take care. Bye.